What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Unsportsmanlike Conduct. I'm your boy Christian, and I am excited because we just got to see so many great football games. Not just the NFL, but there was also, that other game, the college football championship that we need to check out. But I will start by saying the NFL, just keep this format. Usually we only have 4 games this weekend because the top 2 seeds in each conference get a bye. This year they switched it up on us. Only the top seed, one of them on each conference, got a bye. So we got 2 extra football games, and it was an awesome, such a fun weekend of football. And like I said, though, before we get to the NFL, we need to start with the college football championship. So let's just go right into it and start with the highlights of that game. We'll pick it up with a 4th and goal where Najee Harris puts the Crimson Tide up 7-0 early in the first quarter. And of course, Justin Fields and the Buckeyes looking to tie it up here on their next possession. Master Teague takes it to the house, and we have a ball game. We are tied at 7. Ohio State coming in as the underdog in this one, and you can see why. Alabama here, Mac Jones. Look at this. Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner. He got going. He had over 200 yards receiving just in the first half of this one. And of course, he had to get in the end zone, and here he goes. Mac Jones looking, fakes to the running back, and here he is. Touchdown Devontae Smith. That puts Alabama up 14-7. And it was a back-and-forth game early until Alabama really took control here. Master Teague pushes into the end zone again. This tied it up at 14. That was on the 1st and goal early in the second quarter. But like I said, Alabama was just too much. Mac Jones, what a beautiful play call here. Back to the running back who cuts inside. Najee Harris in. Touchdown. Alabama takes control here, 21-14. And this is where Ohio State, their run of tying the game up ended. They got a field goal, so they were still down. And Devontae Smith, just too much. Look at this beautiful throw, beautiful catch. That sets up Alabama deep in Ohio State territory. And of course, same thing. Here you go. Devontae Smith, get you some more. Here's another touchdown to the right pylon. Alabama goes up 28-17, and they're not looking back. Just before the half here, Alabama again. What a beautiful throw. Mac Jones finds Devontae Smith. Heisman winner, well-deserved. That's his 3rd touchdown of the first half, and he wasn't the only one. Najee Harris, here's his 2nd score. That was his 3rd score of the game, and Alabama wins it. So Alabama is your national champion. It seems like they win every other year pretty much. Obviously, I feel great for Nick Saban. What a big-time W. What a big-time season, especially obviously with everything going on with COVID. That's huge for them and that program. Those kids that are playing in Alabama, obviously, you know about Najee Harris. You know about that Heisman winner, Devontae Smith. But nobody really talks as much about Mac Jones, and this kid had a hell of a game. I hope he gets some high draft pick consideration because he's been doing great, and he's been beating everybody that's in front of him. Obviously, they have this perfect season that ends in the championship. Everyone's talking about Justin Fields on the other side, which is great, and obviously he's going to be a first-round draft pick. And he's got the talent, so I'm happy for him. Obviously, he stayed healthy, and I look forward to watching him play in the NFL. But definitely feel great also for like Devontae Smith. Like I said, Najee Harris, Mac Jones. Hopefully these guys have success in the NFL as well. It was a fun college football season. Obviously, a lot of things that were unexpected and games that were canceled. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that they went through with their season. They got to crown a national champion. That's still going to be in their history book. So good for Alabama. Congratulations to the Crimson Tide. That's going to do it for my college football recap because, as you know, I'm way more into the pro sports. But like I said, I'm glad we had college sports because at this point, with us being pretty much locked up at home, sports rule my life. So let's just get to the NFL highlights from this weekend. Begin in Buffalo, where this was my favorite game of the whole weekend. Here, Josh Allen looking like he's going to scramble and then finds his tight end. He even tricked out the cameraman. Buffalo takes the lead 7-3. Now 2nd and goal, but the Colts hung around in this one. The Colts go up here 10-7. The Colts with a 10-7 lead on 4th and goal are going for it. Questionable call here because it ends up being an incomplete pass. So this gives the ball back up to Buffalo, who drives all the way down. Josh Allen, too big, too strong, too much. Touchdown. Buffalo takes the lead 14-10. Now Buffalo adding a field goal. They're up 17-10. And guess who? Stephon Diggs. Diggsy, get you some touchdown. He's going to come through. He's such a highlight maker. Diggs is just incredible here. The Colts, though, bouncing back 24-17. Indianapolis trying to hang in there. They go for 2 here. I don't know why they went for 2. I wouldn't have gone for 2. And, yeah, I don't know what happened there. But they went for it. They didn't get it. So the Bills added on a field goal to make it an 11-point game. Phillip Rivers here looking for the end zone. Finds his tight end, and the Colts were still hanging around. But remember, they went for 2 and didn't get it, so now they have to get it here. So Phillip Rivers looking back at the end zone. He finds his tight end here, though, so they do come through. They make up for that 2-point conversion that they failed earlier. Phillip Rivers trying to make the most out of it here. Gets the completion to Pascal, who then fumbles it. Yeah, that was a fumble, and everyone pretty much, I feel like, could tell it was a fumble. They called him down by contact here, and then they reviewed it, and then they stuck with it, even though his knees comes off the floor before the fumble happened. So it was a clear fumble. The Bills get screwed. So luckily, though, karma comes back around, and the Bills here get the Hail Mary knockdown, and they win the game 27-24. Now we go to Seattle, where this game was a field goal game until this pick 6 that Russell Wilson threw, and the Rams here go up 13-3. Remember, the Rams came into this game with their backup quarterback in, who then gets hurt, who then they put in Jared Goff, who just had surgery on a broken thumb in. So they're up 13-3. But Russell Wilson, you knew he wasn't going to go down easy. Finds his receiver, DK Metcalf, there to make it a 13-10 game. But the Rams came back 20-13. They tacked on a field goal after that. And Jared Goff here, wide open, Robert Woods. Touchdown. That puts the Rams up 30-13. And check out these camera angles that we've been seeing lately. I'm not going to lie, I kind of hate them because I don't even know what's real and what's not. This looks just like Madden to me, and it freaks me out. All right, Russell Wilson, though, enough with me venting. Here finds DK Metcalf again for the touchdown to put the Seahawks down 10, 30-20, but the Rams on 3rd and 4 convert. They were all over the Seattle defense, and it was just too much. They go for it again on 4th and 1 right after the 2-minute warning, and they get the nice spot. That gives them the victory. They are moving on. Now Tampa Bay taking on Washington on the road. Up 3-0, Antonio Brown, touchdown there. The extra point, here it comes. The snap is good, the hold is good, it's blocked. So we have a 9-0 game. Remember that extra point, because you bettors out there, that came back to haunt you. Here goes Washington, staying in the game. Everyone thought they were going to get blown out, but they get the touchdown there, so now they're only down 9-7. Brady, too much, finds Godwin. Down the sideline, touchdown. That puts Tampa Bay up 15-7, and they went for 2 again. Sorry, not again. They went for 2 because they missed the extra point, and they didn't get it. So points left on the board. And look at this. Taylor Heineke. I'm going to call him Mr. Heineken because it looked like he was drunk as shit out there, but in a good way. He was just ballsy and making everything happen. He kept the Redskins, sorry, not even the Redskins, they're called the Washington football team now. He kept the football team into this game the whole time. And here, look at this beautiful throw in the back of the end zone. Washington down only a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, but Heineken looking like a drunk man scrambling back there and just couldn't find anybody. That's your ball game right there. Brady and the Bucks get a scare from the football team, but survive and move on 31-23. All right, to Tennessee we go. The Titans here get on the board first, up 7-0 off of that. What looked like offensive pass interference, but it wasn't. So A.J. Brown puts them up 7-0. They went up 10-0 and looked like they had control, but then Lamar. Oh, no, he can't bring them back, right? Because Lamar and the Ravens can't come back from a deficit. Think again. Lamar Jackson rushes this from midfield all the way in for the score. The Ravens tie the game up, and honestly, that's all they needed because they took control here. J.K. Dobbins gets in the end zone. The Ravens went up 17-10, and they were looking good. They added on a 51-yard field goal here late in the fourth from Justin Tucker to put them up a touchdown, and Ryan Tannehill just could not get it done. Here he gets picked off by Marcus Peters, who returns it into Tennessee territory, but really the return didn't matter. That just about sealed the victory because the Ravens here on 3rd and 1 going getting the first down, and that sealed the victory. The Ravens win 20-13 on the road. They advance. All right, Saints and the Bears. This one looked like it was going to be a good ball game. The Saints and the Bears exchanged first drives, and then the Saints get on the board 7-0. Now check out this play. Beautiful play. Cordell Patterson laterals back to Trubisky. Beautiful pass, maybe the best pass he's thrown all season, and Wims drops it. And let me tell you that if you were watching this game, I think at that point you knew this was over. You cannot leave those points on the board against this dangerous Saints team. Here, Latavius Murray, the L train, puts New Orleans up 14-3. And we go to the fourth where Alvin Kamara puts them up 21-3. And then later, the next possession, they go for it on 4th and goal. It was called a touchdown on the field, but then they reviewed it, and Breeze was actually short of the goal line. So a little bit of life for the Bears, but not really. But here's something you can go into the offseason with. Beautiful grab there by Jimmy Graham. One-handed grab. But that was it. The Bears lose this one 9-21. The Saints advance. All right, Pittsburgh. Remember they were undefeated and 11-0 and everyone thought they were going to be in the Super Bowl? Yeah, not going to happen. I don't know what happened here. This is the first play from scrimmage. Horrible snap. Roethlisberger gives a shitty effort to fall on the football, and that puts Cleveland up 7-0. But you're thinking, all right, it's fine. It's the Steelers and it's the Browns. We're just thankful to be in the playoffs. Not really. The Browns get the interception there. Big Ben threw 5 this game. Jarvis Landry here with a beautiful ball from Baker Mayfield, who had a hell of a game himself. Landry, end zone, touchdown, 14-0. And you're watching this game and you're thinking, this can't be right? They just got off to a bad start. Kareem Hunt pushing everybody through. Touchdown. Cleveland's up 21-0, but it's still early. It's the first. They can still come back. Another interception. Oh my God. If you're a Pittsburgh fan, at this point I feel sorry for you, but you knew you had it coming. That's what happens if you don't have that professionalism. Obviously, Juju talking all that smack. This is what happens, man. Just play the game. Kareem Hunt back into the end zone again. It's 28-0. It's not even the end of the first quarter. All right, but with under 2 minutes left in the half, the Steelers get on the board. It's 28-7. But, yeah, they were supposed to stop the Browns and have some momentum going into halftime. They didn't. Cleveland went up 35-7. They were up 35-10 going into the half. Steelers try to make it a game. There was a touchdown there to make it 35-23, but Nick Chubb gets the pass from Baker Mayfield, and he's gone. Even if you thought that there was a slim chance the Steelers could do it, there wasn't. They get a garbage time touchdown here. Big Ben finds, he had over 500 yards passing in this game, but not enough. All right, so obviously a lot to break down from these weekend's games. I will do that in just a second, but of course, it's time for our halftime show. And this week, I'm honoring my friend Bill, who's a Bills fan. Bill the Bills fan. He was happy. I got to watch the game with him, and it was awesome to see someone from Buffalo see their Bills get a playoff victory after so many years of getting spanked around and smacked, and mostly to the Patriots. So the division winner, Buffalo Bills, win their first playoff game in a long time. I don't know the exact statistic, and my man Bill was happy, and my man Bill is going to be highlighted as the performer of the week. And he made a little homemade video for us, so check him out. All right, that was Bill Leary on the saxophone. Remember to follow him and check out his work online. And hopefully, I'm going to be watching the game with Bill this weekend, and I'm kind of pulling for his Bills. I like the way they're playing. Obviously, they got a scare from the Colts, but the Colts aren't such a garbage team, so maybe now they'll be a little bit more focused with the matchup coming up. Obviously, a lot of great football matchups to look ahead to with the divisional round coming up, which I will do that with my man Frank. But before we break those down, we have to see how these teams got there. I just want to talk about that Cleveland game. I think the Cleveland game was telling. Maybe it's a lesson for all these football teams, which it happens all the time, but they need to learn to stop being cocky. Just understand where you're at. Keep your head on your goals. If your goal is the Super Bowl, don't forget it. And I think a lot of these teams, mostly the Steelers, got a little ahead of themselves. Obviously, injuries took a part of it. But when you guys talking smack, they haven't learned all season long, just talking crap about the opposition, dancing on their logos. And earlier this week, Juju Smith-Schuster is over there talking crap about how the Browns are the same old Browns. That's motivation, man. That's what happens. You are motivating this team to continue to ball out and come into your own stadium and smack you guys. You just gave them that bulletin board material, and that's what happens. So obviously the Cleveland game, that was my biggest takeaway, that I think the Steelers they had it coming, man. This is what happens. The Buffalo game I talked a little bit about. I think that was a great game. Both teams obviously are pretty good teams, and I think either one of those teams before this game could have gone on the run and made the Super Bowl. Buffalo just happened to pull it out and get the W. They have a tough matchup coming on next week against Baltimore now, but at least looking back to that game, obviously closer than I think they would have liked, but at least Buffalo's moving on. Josh Allen looked like a great quarterback. He came through in every which way. Had he made one mistake, that might have been the ball game, but he played lights out. And obviously when you got weapons like Diggs, Cole Beasley out there, it helps. And the defense, obviously they didn't play amazing, but they held their own. They kept the Colts from scoring on the crucial drive. So I'm excited for the Buffalo Bills and see where they go from here. And obviously the other AFC team is the Baltimore Ravens that got to advance. That game between the Ravens and the Titans, the Titans were up 10-0. It looked like they had the momentum. Obviously the narrative has been written, in my opinion, prematurely on Lamar Jackson, that he can't come through in the playoffs, and the kids showed up. He balled out. And the one thing I will say, I want to root for Lamar Jackson, but I have a hard time rooting for the Ravens, because if you watch this game, you saw when they got that last-minute interception, they started being super disrespectful. Obviously, there's history between the Titans and the Ravens and the logos and stomping on the logos and warming up on their logos and all this crap between the coaches that they didn't like. But I didn't like that the Ravens did that. Keep it classy. Act like you've been there before. Instead, they got that pick. They started celebrating. They started acting like they won the Super Bowl and stomping on the logo. Like, respect the game and be the bigger person, be the bigger team. Act like you've been there before. That showed to me that the Ravens were surprised themselves that they even got this victory. So I didn't like that from them, and hopefully it doesn't bite them in the ass moving forward. To the NFC, the Saints, that was the easiest game. Obviously, everybody pretty much knew the Saints would take care of business. Again, I do think it would have been a different ballgame had Wims not dropped that touchdown. Trubisky, that might have been his best throw the whole season. It was exactly where it needed to be. The play call was great from Matt Nagy. That would have tied the game up and put the pressure on the Saints. Obviously, that drop was crucial. They went for it on fourth down in that possession and didn't get it. So, sometimes that's all it takes. It's a little momentum shift here, a little momentum shift there, and that's your ball game. So, that's what happened with the Saints. Now they get to play Tampa Bay and the Buccaneers, which is probably one of the most, if not the most exciting matchup this coming weekend. The Bucs, I do feel like they just took their competition lightly. Obviously, playing Washington, can be, you can kind of overlook them. They're an under 500, 7-9 team that's in the playoffs, having a home game. They had their backup to the backup quarterback playing. And the kid balled out. So what I will say is I don't like what I'm seeing from the Buccaneers defense. I think at some point that defense needs to step up, and that defense needs to, have their playmaker step forward and make something happen. And maybe this is the weekend when they play the Saints. Hopefully for their sake, we'll see. That's a very exciting matchup coming up there. And then the other team that got through is the Rams. Obviously, the Rams took care of the Seahawks. I honestly don't know what to think of that. The Rams have been there before. Obviously, they were in the Super Bowl just a couple of years ago. But I don't know if this told me more about the Rams or more about the Seahawks, who have a shaky defense. Their offense just couldn't really get much going. Like I said, I think there's two things. The Seahawks defense is just so bad that even, the Rams, whose offense hasn't been as explosive lately, were able to, keep driving, keep pushing the ball, and do all that. But at the same time, the Rams defense, who is one of the best defenses in the league, is getting a little bit overlooked, I think, by a lot of people. And remember, if defense wins championships, there's no reason why this Rams team can't make the Super Bowl and get on the Super Bowl run here. So they get to play Green Bay next week, which I think is super exciting. Obviously, you have the MVP, in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers, taking on possibly the best defense out there. So I'm super pumped. All these divisional games are going to be super exciting. Like I said, my man Frank's going to be here to help me break down those matchups and see what we got and see what we like. So we will get to that later this week. But the last thing I need to do before I leave you guys is talk about the one thing that I saw that made me go, what the fuck? And the WTF of the week. Honestly, I'm just going to say it's Adam Silver. Check out this tweet that I saw. It's from Adrian Wojnarowski. All right, so the tweet reads that the NBA and the Players Association are working through a minimum 2-week window of protocol tightening that includes, check this, no hugging or interaction of rival players on court pre and post game, and also reducing social interactions during games, including tapping hands during free throws. I'm sorry, but what the fuck? Like, I get the optics of it that you want to establish, but you tell me how you can't have an interaction and talk to your friend that's on the other team that you get to see a couple times a season when you guys play each other, but they can be guarding each other. I'm sorry that you can't tap hands during free throws, but you can go and try to block somebody's shot and hit them across the arm and their face and all that. Like, yo, it's basketball. And I get it. Like, it's tough for Adam Silver and all these commissioners to, kind of work through these things. But at the end of the day, if you want your players safe, then you're not going to have a season. That's just the reality of it. So this tweet is just like, it's almost like you're just doing too much, man. Like, people are going to get sick. If you're going to have guys playing in the season, you got to deal with that. Like, the guys have lives. They have families. They need to go to the grocery store. They need to pick things up. Like, that's just the real world. That's reality. And so it's kind of tough to see this kind of tweet. If I were a player, I'd be kind of bothered. It's like when the NFL guys were told that they can't exchange jerseys, which is all for optics. And it's just kind of annoying. And if I were a player, I'd be like, yo, screw that. Like what? How are you going to tell me that I can't say what's up to my friend who I can just go and see in the back hallway of the arena probably, and I'm going to say what's up to him and hug him there, but I can't tell him what's up on the court. So, I mean, I get it. It's their business, and they need to kind of hide this from the public, I guess. But if the public wants to live in this fake reality of, like, they don't see each other whatsoever, and, like, look, I've been in NBA arenas, and right after games and even before games, the guys from each team, maybe they're not on camera because they're not on the court. They're saying what's up to each other. They're walking by. When they're walking to their buses after the game, they say what's up to their friends. Like, they're people, okay? Like, they're not robots. So, I mean, I'm ending the show with a little bit of that because I saw this tweet, and any other ideas I had for the WTF of the week just didn't top this because obviously with all this strict protocol, like, just read through between the lines and see that this makes no sense. So I don't know how this is going to shape up. I don't know what's going to go forward. Obviously, I'm glad I'm not the commissioner of the NBA because I understand, like, you have a tough job to do. But this part, it's like, come on, man. You ain't fooling me. So we'll see what happens. We'll be back with another episode later this week. My boy Frank's going to be here. We're going to break down all the divisional round NFL playoff games, which I cannot wait for. Exciting matchups coming up. And remember, subscribe and leave your comments and let me know what you like, what you don't like, and what you would like to see. So I'll appreciate it all. Thank you. See you next time.